Good evening. I'm Dylan Taylor, principal of the best school in Fairfax County. With me, I have our wonderful assistant principal, Ms. Sarah Farmer. On behalf of the hardest working staff in education, we want to welcome you to Back to School Night. I'm so proud to be the principal of this exceptional school, and for those of you who are new to Willow Springs, allow me to share a special welcome to our family, a welcome that's been extended to me by so many. As those parents who have been here for a while can tell you, you have happened upon an extraordinary school community.
We thank you for joining us tonight. We are confident that you will enjoy your evening and come away with a better sense of how your child spends his or her day. You will also have a clearer picture of our building, our teachers, our curriculum, and our core values, the strongest of which is our intense focus on learning. Tonight is the beginning of a partnership between home and school. We are fortunate to have the leadership and support from the PTA to keep this link strong. At this time, I'd like to introduce our PTA President, Mr. Steve Connaughton, to share how you can continue to make our school a wonderful place for your children to spend their days.
Good evening. My name is Steve Connaughton. I am the president of the Willow Springs PTA. Welcome to Back to School Night. I'd like to take a minute to tell you about all the great things the PTA does here at the school. We're responsible for a number of clubs, both before and after school, in the fall and the spring. This year, we will have the chess club, math club, jump rope club, Zumba, Lego club, garden club, and new this fall, our flag football club. We also sponsor a number of community events throughout the year. This year we'll have the World Festival in the fall, the Fun Fair in the spring, as well as Bingo Night and Spirit Night, just to name a few. To get a full list of everything we do here, both clubs and events, go to our website at willowspringpta.net. And while you're there, please take the time to become a member. Our membership dues are still just $10, and we'd like to get as many members as possible. In order to pay for all the great things we do here at Willow Springs, we have one main fundraiser. There's going to be a short presentation shortly about the Boosterthon Fun Run that is taking place right now. This one event is responsible for over 50% of our budget, so please take the time to check it out and register your child. Thanks, and have a great night.
So as I think about this year, I think about the school and achieving greatness. So how do we measure success? How do we measure greatness? Our SOL scores illustrate that we are mastering core content. We understand that this is critical for our students to meet high school graduation requirements. However, would these skills ensure that our students are college ready and successful in the 21st century? At Willow Springs, we believe meeting these standards makes us a good school. Though we are not satisfied with good, here we strive for greatness. We see that the mastery of standards-based teaching and learning presents us with an extraordinary opportunity to redefine educational excellence in the 21st century. We understand for our students to be successful in this future and support our competitive edge as a nation, we need to create innovators, young people who will change the world. As you get to know me, you'll find that I'm constantly reading and researching on how to create students that will shape our future. One of my favorite authors and a speaker I've been fortunate to see in person is Tony Wagner. In his recent book, Creating Innovators, Tony provides a powerful rationale for developing an innovation-driven economy. It's no secret that our nation is at risk in the global market and society. Our underemployment rate is at an all-time high among young adults 16 to 29, and more than 35% of young families under 30 are living in poverty. We've all seen how routine jobs are disappearing in all developing countries. They're either being offshored or automated. So the question for all of us is, as educators, parents, becomes how do we prepare young people for non-routine jobs? Secondly, knowledge is now a commodity. It's free, it's growing exponentially, and it's changing constantly. For example, how many of you remember memorizing the periodic table of elements in chemistry class? Does anybody remember how many there are? Is Pluto in or out? Remember, back in the day when we would debate these kinds of questions, now we just pick up our smartphones and Google the question and have an answer in seconds. So as humble educators, we realize that while children used to need us to acquire knowledge, they can get it on the internet. On average, young people between the ages of 8 and 18 now spend more time on their electronic devices than they do in their classrooms. So the bottom line in the world of education is that the world no longer cares how much our kids know. They care about what our kids can do with what they know. One kid knowing more than the next kid is no longer a competitive advantage. You can buy it, download it, or you can teach it yourself. Without question, knowledge is a ticket to play. It's sufficient, but it's necessary, but it's by no means sufficient. We need to ensure that our students develop the skill and the will to create and apply knowledge in the new ways. For his book, Tony Wagner conducted research, talking to a wide range of students and people in their 20s who are innovative in a number of areas. Many of them were innovators in science and technology, engineering, arts, and math, while others were innovative in music and social entrepreneurship. As he talked to them, he strived to understand the ecosystem, the teachers, the mentors, the parents, that helped them become innovators. Across these disciplines, he discovered that there were three primary forces that drove young innovators: play, passion, and purpose. Play is not just about what happens in PE activities. Play is when you encourage children to explore, to experiment, and to imagine. When given opportunities to play, children use trial and error, take risks, and look at complex and challenging problems through new lenses. Those opportunities often lead to remarkable results. Consider that Google bases one of its fundamental beliefs on a 20% time program. Google gives employees 1 day a week to play and pursue their passions, and the belief that innovation will spring these unique opportunities to play. Google has proven this to be a worthwhile adventure, as 50% of the products that have come out during this time, including Gmail. At our staff kickoff this year, we participated in this time for innovation. And while I was amazed, and you will be amazed as well, with the results, such as Teach or Read to the End, that came out and was launched last Tuesday. Many more ideas are ready to break through. And while we can't dedicate one school day a week for play, we'll encourage our children to create more than consume, even at the risk of failing. Mistakes are a necessary part of the learning process. In some of the most innovative businesses and universities across the country, failure is actually encouraged. It's common for us as parents and educators to want to protect our children from disappointment that comes with failure. But staff at IDEO, one of the most innovative design companies in the world, has the motto, fail early and fail often. At Olin College of Engineering, they don't even talk about failure. They talk about it in iterations, a completely different understanding of the learning process. As our partners in education, we ask that you think about how you might provide your child opportunities for play, to explore, experiment, and imagine. Has your child ever told you that they were bored? This was a very long summer, and I am sure you had many instances where this came across. I had a lot of these with my kindergarten Charlie, and he would come up to me and say, "Daddy, I'm bored. What can I do?" And my gut reaction is to suggest a myriad of activities that he could engage in. But at that moment, Tony's words came into my mind. He says, a child has to get bored before he can figure out how to get himself out of boredom. So by just suggesting something that he finds something that he wants to do, my house was filled with obstacle courses, innovations to the swing set in the back, and ways that he could teach his little sister. My 22-month-old Mary Alice just destroys the house, and for that I have no answer. But all of the innovators that were interviewed wanted to make some difference in the world. And at Willow, we will ensure that these values are caught as well as taught. We will begin to focus on service learning, and we will educate students about real problems facing our local, national, and global communities, and provide them opportunities to give back. In addition, we plan to expose those students to real-life problems in the learning process and challenge them to create real products for real audiences. Isn't it amazing how much harder we work when we know that it's going to make a difference for someone else? These stories of innovators have illustrated how there was a focus on play, passion, and purpose, intrinsic motivation to learn, and this is an essential skill for innovators and entrepreneurs. So here is to a new school year filled with possibilities for play and innovation. We say, bring it on. We are ready for and excited to serve as our students' dream managers and encourage you to join us. We hope that you have a wonderful evening and look forward to partnering with you for an amazing year.